with major storylines that tie together all the movies. No, they didn't want to clutter the film with logic and sense. No. Hey everyone, Final Death Star here, and boy, we're going to talk about Palpatine and Star Wars again here. Rise of Skywalker. How did the Emperor come back? We'll never know, but we may have been able to find out. There may be an answer, allegedly, according to J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio, and Maryann Brandon, who was the editor that I did a video on yesterday. An editor who basically spilled the beans on the editing process of The Rise of Skywalker. They were editing as they went along. So here's another article. This is IndieWire, and it's entitled here, Rise of Skywalker, Cut Info Explaining Palpatine's Return, because it seemed to go off topic. See, I wondered why. Why didn't we get an answer for how Palpatine survived? Now I know we didn't get it because it went off topic. Yeah, there's the topic of Star Wars is not explanation. It's not story-driven. No, it's not. I don't know what it is, but it's certainly not things we need to know. That's off topic. So, okay, whether or not J.J. Abrams and his Star Wars crew will ever reveal how Palpatine stayed alive after Return of the Jedi remains to be seen. The return of Emperor Palpatine in Star Wars The Rise of Skywalker has been met with a polarized response from fans and film critics. Anyone wondering how the villainous Sith Lord stayed alive after being seemingly killed by Darth Vader, thrown down a shaft, in 1983's Return of the Jedi does not get any answers in The Rise of Skywalker. The film begins and is openly accepted by nearly everyone in the galaxy that Palpatine is back. The opening crawl reads, "For goodness sakes, the dead speak." The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of late Emperor Palpatine. That's it. That's as much as J.J. Abrams and Chris Terrio's Rise of Skywalker gives fans in terms of explaining the Sith Lord's return. In an interview with HuffPost, Rise of Skywalker editor Maryann Brandon confirms that the explanation about how Palpatine survived and or came back to life after Return of the Jedi was removed from Skywalker theatrical cut. There was originally a little more information about it. What was keeping Palpatine alive? Brandon said, but it seemed to go off topic. It seemed to go off topic. While it's somewhat comforting to know that there is an actual answer behind Palpatine's continued existence, it remains to be seen whether or not we'll ever get it. Ugh. It was kind of a delicate balance and went back and forth a lot about how much we wanted to reveal. Like a major plot point. Brandon said about Palpatine's return, some scenes changed quite a bit. The way that we wanted to present it to audiences, in the end we ended up showing a lot less of it than what we started with. Some scenes were changed quite a bit. You know, they were editing as they went, they were writing as they went. I mean, this movie was being made up day by day on the set. That's the feeling I get. You know, they were writing storylines, they couldn't figure things out, so they just edited them over, or they switched it out, or they kept changing things and said, we don't need to put it in there anyway. They don't need to know. Because I think they didn't know themselves. This article says there is a reason behind it. There is a reason how he survived, but I'm starting to doubt that even that is true. Brandon said there was so much information in the film and so many characters that we wanted to have an audience concentrate on. I think we felt we didn't want to clutter the films up with things you didn't need to know. There were so many characters, so many storylines going on in this movie. It's just all over the place that they felt like they didn't want to clutter the film with things you didn't need to know. They didn't want to clutter the film with plot points, with major storylines that tie together all the movies. No, they didn't want to clutter the film with logic and sense. No. No, 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 no. We're going to make C-3PO go on this wild quest to unlock something that he was already able to do. He already transferred the Sith dagger. He just, had a restraining bolt, I guess, on, and they had to go on this crazy chase to get Baba Frick, so they could make him say what he already knew. Yeah, they spent time on that. They spent time on Zori Bliss, a new character that was introduced that we really didn't need to know anything about. I mean, there was no real purpose to her character. She was okay, but I would have much rather spent time on, huge plot points, like how did Palpatine survive? But they didn't want to clutter the film up with things that you didn't need to know. You don't need to know how he survived, just consume. He survived, accept it. The galaxy did. Why can't you, viewer, consumer? Oh my! That is one of the craziest things this is the mentality that we're getting from Lucasfilm. They didn't want to clutter the film up with things we didn't need to know. They don't think it's important enough to tell you how Palpatine came back. They didn't even want to tell you how Snoke survived or who Snoke was. Yeah, Palpatine created him. That's it. That's all you get. You don't need to know anything else. He was the major villain in 2 movies, and they just brushed it over because you don't need to know. It's not important. Oh, man. Many Star Wars fans might disagree with Brandon and say that the reason for Palpatine's return was something that needed to be known in order to make The Rise of Skywalker work. Head over to HuffPost's website to read more. Yes, well, I would agree that is something that I feel like you need to know. I think you need to know how he survived, but that's just me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Thank you for watching, and give this video a like, a thumbs up, and share it with the world. And if you have not subscribed, please do so. I do appreciate it. Until next time, lock the doors and hope they don't have blasters.